Breaking news today. Saga, president of Rwanda closes 6,000 churches and mosques demanding for theology degree for every religious leader. The president says religious leaders should stop playing with the people's faith, making it a business. He also said the country is already a blessed country. That is quite a bold move, and I do applaud the president of Rwanda for such a gesture. But I think there is one institution that he left out. You can insult a pastor any way you like. You can insult the president any way you like. You can insult the government any way you like. But no one really talks about the native doctors. If you want to practice medicine, go to school. Go to school and get a degree. Come out and practice medicine the right way. If you have some herbs that treat people, make sure that you go through the Ministry of Health and prove to them that this medication cures this disease, and they test it. If it works, then we should enact that into law and we can sell it in pharmacies and benefit the community. If not, no. Breaking news today. Saga, president of Rwanda closes 6,000 churches and mosques demanding for theology degree for every religious leader. The president says religious leaders should stop playing with the people's faith, making it a business. He also said the country is already a blessed country. That is quite a bold move, and I do applaud the president of Rwanda for such a gesture. But I think there is one institution that he left out. And this is a problem I think is affecting every country in Africa. Religion today is a big business. It shouldn't be this way. But one institution that he left out is the native doctors' shrine. Have you closed those shrines? Because they are causing more confusion, extorting money from the people in the society more than churches. And no one is talking about this particular institution because people are scared because magic is involved. Cameroonians, I want us to have a conversation because this is an institution that has caused more harm in our society than we can think of. Human beings have been sacrificed by native doctors and by these shrines. Not only that, this institution has extorted a lot of money from the community, and people don't even talk about it when they go give money to a native doctor. And whatever the native doctor said doesn't turn out to be true. No one talks about it. We just stay quiet. I think the shrines of the native doctors should be closed. If you want to practice medicine, go to school. Go study and become a medical doctor. If your medication really works, there is a way to go about it. And then you present that and it's tested, and if it works, they can sell it in pharmacies and everyone will have it if it's really good and it's working. I'm not saying the fact that we have standard medicine indicates that you cannot be creative in the process and come up with something that can cure a disease. But it should go through the regular process, go through the Ministry of Health, and if it is tested and it works, that medication should be sold in pharmacies. If not, we should shut down every shrine of the native doctors as well. And pastors, go to school. Go study theology. This whole thing, God called me and you didn't study, and we have all sorts of different ideas about faith out here. I think it's confusing for the body of Christ. And I do agree that pastors should go to school. I do agree that if you want to practice Islam, go to school. Native doctors, you want to practice medicine, go to school and study for 7 years. And when you're out, you'll be able to practice medicine legally. We need a unanimous structure because this has to do with people's health. It has to do with people's lives. There are people that are enemies today with their friends. They are enemies with their neighbors. They are enemies with their mothers. They are enemies with their fathers. They are enemies with their siblings because of native doctors. You go there, they tell you that the cause of your problem is this neighbor, is this brother, is this sister, is this uncle. And you go out there and look at someone and you start feeling this resentment and hate towards them because a native doctor said so. This institution is one of the oldest institutions in our community that is responsible for most of the confusion that we are dealing with. Most of the pain of our people come from this institution. This institution affects even development. So much so that they will tell you that if they want to construct a road, a native doctor can put a hold to that project and they need to be appeased before that project can proceed. So this is an institution that we should start taking a close look at. For many years, everyone just dodges it. We will go around churches, you can insult a pastor any way you like, you can insult the president any way you like, you can insult the government any way you like, but no one really talks about the native doctors, the shrines, this institution that has held us in bondage. It is high time they start giving an account of what they are actually doing in our society. What value is this shrine producing in the economy? We have to put an economic value to this particular institution. When it comes to the church, I want to say, yes, some people are called by God. And when you are called by God, study to show yourself approved. Go to school. Study theology. If you're called into medicine and you want to practice medicine, go to school and become a medical doctor. You're experimenting with people's health. You're experimenting with people's lives. And all of this talisman and predictions that native doctors make have caused a lot of confusion in our society at the magnitude that you can't even fathom. And in this generation, we are pouring light into this very institution to make sure that we eradicate this institution and ask the question, what is the function of this institution in our society? And I expect you to drop in the comment section, what is your experience? Everything the native doctor told you, was it true? Did it turn out the way he told you? We want to know. It's high time we take a look into this institution and ask ourselves the question. Yes, we grew up hearing about this, and this is what we've seen our entire life. This is what our parents told us. You go to a native doctor, and if it doesn't work before you come to a church. So the church now is your last resort. If there is any pain or problem in your life, the first thing that comes to your mind is someone is after you. Where do you go to? A native doctor. What do they tell you? A friend is the cause of your problem. You start hating that friend. You go to a native doctor. They say, oh, your mom or your neighbor or your auntie, your uncle, your stepmother is the cause of your problem. You're picking up a fight mentally with your stepmother or with your auntie. And this is an institution that has caused a lot of harm. Not only physically, but spiritually, mentally, in our society, in our community. For many years, we just dodge it because we are afraid. This is the time we look into this institution. We look into all of their practices and the effect in our community. And so I listened to what the president of Rwanda just said and what he did. Quite interesting. Yes, I agree they should regulate that institution, but we should also regulate the traditional doctors. That particular institution, we should take a close look into, because they have caused more confusion than the church combined. And no one is talking about it. When they take your money and what they promise you doesn't turn out to be true, we just stay quiet because you are afraid that a native doctor can cook up a concoction that can affect your life. They can cook up something that can destroy your life, so you are quiet. You don't want to talk about it. But I just want to let you know, most of those things are magic. There is no power in there. The power that is in there is the power that you have been perceived to believe that is real, and that is what is happening with you. And this is an eye-opening message for Cameroonians, wherever you find yourself, because this institution has done more harm on you. If you look at many Cameroonians, you will see that there are 3 stripes of blade on your body. Most of us have those stripes. Why? Because they told you someone was after you and you needed protection. So you went, the native doctor had to cut you up, cut you open, and actually apply something so that you can be protected when you go out there. But really, all of this is mental. And God has the final power. And he has given you authority over everything. And there is nothing that another human being can do to give you protection. I want to repeat that again. There is nothing another human being can do to give you protection except the power of God. Someone will sit on the ground and tell you they're a talisman, they see the future, they give you predictions. I remember growing up in Cameroon, at some point I felt like there was a spiritual attack on my life. So I went to a native doctor, because that is what everybody did in the community. When you feel like there's a spiritual attack on your life, you go to a native doctor. I went there and he threw his stuff on the ground, looked at it and asked me, "What is your father's name?" I gave him a different name. And then he asked if my father had a brother. And then I gave him my father's name. And then he looked at it and said, "This man is the cause of all your problems." That is my father he's talking about, thinking he's talking about my uncle. No, because I switched it just to see if he understood what he was doing. And he said, "This man is the cause of all your problems. Your uncle is the cause of all your problems." That's my father he's talking about though. He said, "This man is the cause of all your problems." Went on, cooked up all sorts of charms and said, "Hold this, protect yourself with it." And I left that place and it changed everything for me, how I perceive native doctors. And I think you can share your own experience. If he really sees as he claims, he would have understood that the name I just mentioned was actually my father's name and not my uncle's name. So I told him my father was my uncle. And he said, "My father is the cause of all my problems." You see how confusing it is? And this is a classic example, and I'm sure many people have experienced a lot in the hands of native doctors. Now, there are scientific research that can prove most of the things that you see and call magic and medicine not to be real. And it has held you bound because it controls your psychology. It controls how you think about your life and how you think about your society and the people around you. It does matter for your development. It does matter for your prosperity. It does matter for your spirituality, because this institution has caused more harm on the people of Cameroon than you can ever think about. This institution has caused more harm to the people of Cameroon than you can ever think of. Imagine if this institution was real and they really perform magic and it is real, how come many of our young people have lost their lives going into Ambazonia? Think of it. If they were real and really powerful as they claim, how come they have not been able to stop maybe an armored car coming into the Anglophone zone? How come some of them have been praying and working so hard to ensure that the president goes down? Why is it that the president is still strong and alive? The secret to everything that they are doing is proximity. If anyone is close to you, they can harm you. I have a roach spray here at home. If I sprayed in this room, if there's a roach hiding anywhere, that roach will die. There are some poisonous chemicals that you can mix, and if you spray that around, people can really feel the effect of that chemical. Do you understand? It's just like the tear gas. When you throw it out there, guess what? If you're around that area, you get affected. So there are certain chemicals that you can mix, touch somebody, and they can just feel the poison going through their body and they lose their lives. And now we will mix it up and say it's the power of the traditional doctor. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these and many things that you will discover over time, that is all proximity. If they are not close to you, they cannot touch you. If they are not close to you, they cannot affect you. If they are not close to you, if they don't send someone that comes close to you and touch you or put poison in your drink, nothing will affect you. This institution has collected a lot of money from you over the years. I want to repeat again, the amount of money you have given to native doctors. So we have to look into this institution in this generation, because change starts from here, when we are able to think clearly and be able to believe right, because this institution has held you bound. Some of you cannot even travel. You have something that you've been given to tie around your waist or put in your bag, and you want to travel, you're scared, because if this thing drops out, or if they're searching your bag and they see that, what are you going to say? Some of you cannot even travel because you have all of this stuff that you've collected from the native doctor, and it has held you bound. Some of you have it inside your ceiling. They tell you touch it every time for protection before you go out. And this has held your life bound. This individual controls your destiny. They tell you what will happen the next day, what will happen the next month, and it controls how you behave around people. And people might look at you and are confused, like, why are you acting this way? Because a native doctor told you something about your life, and it is controlling your destiny. And I just want to free you, even as I speak right now, because there's a power of God right here to free you from any bondage from a native doctor, coming from a shrine that is holding you bound psychologically. Because when you are really free, that is when creativity starts. Sometimes they will tell you that your money is being tied up. That is why you are not making advance in life, right? They'll tell you your money is being tied up. You need to go protect yourself. No, what you need to do is save. You need to learn savings. You need to learn investments. You need to spend wisely. Don't spend your money in a bar drinking, right? Don't just give your money away. Save it. They don't tell you that. They will tell you someone is taking your money away. And because of that, they will show you a brother or a sister that is the cause of all your problems. They have taken your star. That's another one that I used to hear growing up that much. Like, they've taken your star. Nobody will take your star. You are the only one that can allow any other human being to take your star by not believing in who God says you are, by not believing in yourself, by not studying and becoming proficient at what you do. That is how your star gets missing. So there is no one on earth with the power to take your star, except you giving them that power and authority. So I just thought I'd clarify that and let you know. But the main purpose of this video, we gotta look into this institution and abolish this institution. If you want to practice medicine, go to school. Go to school and get a degree, come out and practice medicine the right way. If you have some herbs that treat people, make sure that you go through the Ministry of Health and prove to them that this medication cures this disease, and they test it. If it works, then we should enact that into law and we can sell it in pharmacies and benefit the community. If not, no. Our people need to be free. This has been going on for a very long time, and in this generation, we'll put an end to it. If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here.